Welcome into Pleasant Grove High School as we get ready for the start of region play for Orem High as they make the trip up north to take on the Pleasant Grove Vikings. Gavin Atkinson here with you alongside Sayer Nielsen to provide you play-by-play and analysis through the night. And Sayer, I know I say this every game, but we really have an intriguing matchup tonight as two of these top teams in 5A come together in this early season matchup, only time they'll play this season. Orem comes into this game after a little bit of a break. The last time Orem played a game, December 23rd of last year, 2025, if you want to make that old uncle joke, they haven't played a game all year. So they've been off for 2 weeks. It's going to be very interesting to see how they adjust and if they're caught flat-footed. On the other side, we see Pleasant Grove, and they've been very busy since then. In the time that Orem's been on break, Pleasant Grove has played 4 games, and they've gone 3-1. This team is hot, and I'm very excited to see what we have going for us. As we just get ready for tip, I turn to you, Sayer, and I ask you for your keys to the game.
Absolutely, and Pleasant Grove comes into this game probably the underdog, especially on paper, but they have something that Orem doesn't, and that's height. They have 4 players over 6'6", 3 of which, if I'm not mistaken, are starters. So they need to abuse the paint. Use your height, use your size. The only player that Orem has that is over 6'6" is Simeon Suguturaga, who you can see here is jumping. So Pleasant Grove needs to take advantage of that, try to abuse the paint as much as they can.
Orem wins the jump, and Kafusi, the primary ball handler, Troy Kafusi, a good running mate with Simeon Suguturaga. The two of them, really big scoring threats for the Tigers. Suguturaga averaging just under 20 a game, and Kafusi averaging 15. But Junie Moala, the first one to get the Golden Tigers on the board, as he gets that little fade up and in.
Yeah, and you can see it on Orem early. My key for them is that they spread the floor. They've got guys in the paint like Suguturaga who can finish, and then they have guys like Kafusi who can shoot out from distance. And so as long as they can keep both of those areas going, they can win this game easily.
Junie Moala once again up for 2, taking advantage of that. As Orem gets out to a 4-0 lead off of the missed shot from Johansson on the first Pleasant Grove possession. Johansson driving in. Double team comes, gets the ball into the paint. Shot up, no good for Oliver Mosman, but he draws the foul. Foul, I believe, will go to Junie Moala, his first personal of the game. And we talked about it a little bit. We talked about Simeon Suguturaga and Troy Kafusi. Now, when you look at the other side of the ball, the 2 leading scorers for Pleasant Grove has been Brennan Blackett and Preston White. Forgive me. Both of them averaging, or Brennan Blackett averaging just under 13 a game. Preston White just under 10. When you look at this Pleasant Grove team, they're looking to beat you with 4 or 5 guys. 5 guys are averaging 8 points a game or more. So don't expect a one-man show for Pleasant Grove here tonight.
No, absolutely not. They have a deep team, and that's what's going to help them here against Orem. Orem has some really good players on their team, but Pleasant Grove is deep, and they can rely on different guys every night to come in to get stuff done.
Kafusi for 3, too strong. Moala with the rebound. Kind of an awkward shot. Looked like a pass to Suguturaga, and Suguturaga jumps up and puts that one in. The Utah Ute commit as of early November, as he's been turning heads, gets to show off what he can do up at Salt Lake. Pleasant Grove still looking to get on the board. And we'll have a whistle down on the floor. Looks like it'll go against Orem. And that will go on Kekane Manuia. his first personal of the game. 6:03 on the clock. We'll keep you updated as we do our best with no game clock tonight. Three up and in for Brennan Blackett as he gets the Vikings on the scoreboard. A great extra pass to get him that open look. And a nice defensive stand for the Vikings.
Great job there from Milo Johansson, just getting the ball, handing the ball, stripping it away, and helping his team get 2 points on the other end.
Blackett up with the right hand for two, and just like that, a 5-0 run for the Vikings. Kafusi guarded by Preston White, who we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. Junie Moala in the corner. No good as he misses just right. And great effort down in the paint as Orem will retain possession of that ball. Sometimes, you create your own luck there as that bounced off the Vikings player.
Absolutely, and that's all effort from Simeon Suguturaga, just making sure he doesn't give up on that play and forcing it out of bounds off of Pleasant Grove. And now he gets the dunk to slam it home.
And you talk about this team as the Vikings go with the quick corner three of their own, get their own miss. Some nice effort, gets the open mid-range jumper up and good for Preston White. As we'll have a timeout call. This will give us an excellent opportunity to get to what I was saying. If we look at these two teams, one thing that'll jump out at you is the coaching. And Orem, both teams don't have very tenured coaches, I should say. Jace Tavita for Orem High has been there for 3 years. You want to talk about the record of this coach is he has really been able to catch fire with these guys. 63-27 in his 3 years as he has taken this team deep into the state playoffs every year, taking an Orem program that was known for football and has put them on the map for basketball. And then when you look at the other side, Pleasant Grove, the man at the helm, Carson Williams, he's 18-20 as he's been here for 2 years. This is his second year, I should say, as he's still kind of trying to get things going with this system. One more storyline to watch tonight. Suguturaga double teamed, driving, ball poked away. Blackett comes up with it. 4:35 to go in this first quarter. Jackson Brown handling the ball. He had a great, Preston White handling the ball. Jackson Brown had a great game versus Davis last week as that mid-range jumper from White, no good. And the Tigers looking to go on the fast break. Kafusi takes the screen. Mid-range shot up off the back iron. And rebound to Preston White, Jackson Brown. Driving in, has some room, and up and in with the layup is Jackson Brown. Forgive me as we get caught up on the score. Takes the lead. It will be 9-8 Vikings. I apologize for that as I got a little too concerned with the game as Simeon Suguturaga gets the lead right back for the Orem Tigers. 3:30 to go in this first quarter. Preston White.
I love the patience that both of these teams are showing right now. They're only taking looks in the paint if they're open. And that right there was a little bit of a tough shot, but it wasn't ill-advised, and that's what both teams are doing well right now, and this is why we're going to have such a fun matchup today.
Jackson Brown able to get that layup. As mentioned before, he had a great game versus Davis. 18 points against the Darts. A good team, a good 6A team as Blackett drives to the hoop through traffic and gets the two down. Well, that shot waved off as I get a chance to finish my thought. Jackson Brown had 18 versus Davis in a game where Preston White and Brennan Blackett didn't have their best game. White had 2 points, Blackett had 5. And this is what we were talking about in pregame, kind of winning by committee. You see Jackson Brown with 18, Oliver Mossman with 13, Milo Johansson with 9. The 3 of those guys really stepped up and led their team to a big win. Corner 3, no good for Orem, for Cooper Harris. Vikings up 3, 2:30 to go in the quarter. Preston White kicks it out to the far side corner, 3 up, leaves it short. Kafusi with the rebound. Harris, guarded by Blackett, goes up with his right hand, and the speed of Harris to get past the taller defender and get that layup up and in. Ball poked away by Sugu Turaga. Vikings able to hold on to it. Well, a reach-in foul called to Kakane Manuia, his second of the game.
That's his second.
We'll see Oliver Mossman check out for the Vikings. Preston White gets the double team, kicks out. 3 up, no good. For Jackson Brown, you're not going to get much of a better look than that. .145 to go in the quarter. Vikings with a 1-point lead. Sugu Turaga working on Brown. Double team comes. Sugu Turaga leaves it short, almost gets his own miss. Vikings in transition. Corner 3 up and good. Ashton Palmer drains the transition 3.
3 points.
1:12 to go in the quarter. Kafusi gives it up to Sugu Turaga, and we'll have a whistle.
That was called on Preston White.
Preston White with his first personal of the game. And the Tigers so far looking a little flat coming out of the break. Corner 3 up, in and out, rebound, initially won by Orem. The Vikings on the fast break. And a quick turnover. Tigers on the fast break, 1-1. And layup no good for Isa Naliai, the football star, as he plays safety this fall, is committed to the University of Utah as well as Simeon Sugu Turaga, just in the fall sport rather than the winter sport.
Well, you can see it in his body style. He just looks like he's a little bit of a DB. You know, he's ready to go pick these balls off. And we'll see, maybe he'll get a pick here tonight, just with the basketball side of things instead of football.
Very excited to watch this kid play for the new head of football up at the school on the hill on Morgan Scally as Utah deals with a little bit of turnover, but Naliai, a promising football career. Preston White.
I love the high pressure here from Orem. It shows a lot of trust from the coaching staff and these players to allow them to defend all the way up to the half-court line. And you can see why there's that trust. Preston White has been dribbling this entire possession and hasn't gotten more than inside of where he is right now.
And it's great that as Preston White draws the foul, Junie Mawala did a good job switching on to Preston White, and I got to give a shout out to Cooper Harris as he had that pressure up until that point. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep it to an end for Orem fans, but a nice move from Preston White as he was in a little bit of trouble. Only 2 on the shot clock as that ball was kind of just dribbling that possession away.
You'd love to see a little more passing. And as you mentioned, great job from Juni Moala to stay in front of the guard there and be able to give a good defensive possession up until the very end, committing the foul. But you'd like to see Pleasant Grove move that ball around a little bit more, rely on everyone rather than just Preston White.
Juni Moala does pick up his second personal foul of the game. Oliver Mossman will take a seat, and back into the game is Milo Johansson. Kaufusi takes it up the floor, takes a screen, has a lane to the basket, left hand up and good. Has some good spacing from the Tigers.
2 points just before the end of the first quarter.
As the Tigers will go into the second quarter down 1. It's been a fantastic first quarter of action. We'll be back in just a moment with the second quarter.
With a Tab Spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
Cash or card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
We'd like to welcome you back into Pleasant Grove High School. Gavin Atkinson alongside Sayer Nielsen as we get ready for the second quarter start in this great game. 17-16, Vikings hold an early 1-point lead. And now I turn to you, Sayer, our unofficial statistician here, doing our best with just about 100% accuracy within, a little bit of error. We turn to you for stats.
Absolutely. These stats are by no means official, but from what we've seen, no surprise in the team leaders in points. On Pleasant Grove side, you've got Brennan Blackett with 7 points, and of course for Orem, Sugu Turaga with his 6 points. The surprise on the night, though, is both teams shooting 70% from the floor. Now, is that bad defense, or is that just smart shot selection, or are these guys just on fire right now? I'll leave that up to the audience to decide. But either way, it's an exciting match, and that is why we have such a high score through one quarter.
Ball tipped by Kaufusi as Tigers get a turnover on the first possession of the game. And Vikings almost got their own turnover as a nice play from Milo Johansson poked that ball out to stall that transition defense. Kaufusi inbounds it to Mauania. Mauania cross-court pass to Sugu Turaga. He'll back it back out, drive in, but a foul will be called. I believe that one is going against the Vikings. And it will be given to Kyle Jentz, his first personal of the game. 7:37 to go. Not a ton of foul shots in that first quarter, but what foul shots we did see, there was a lot of inconsistency and a lot of misses.
Absolutely. Neither team shot over 50% from the line.
And a deep three from Troy Kaufusi as he takes the lead right back. Gets a 2-point lead.
I don't even mind that Kaufusi distracted me from my thought, because what a beautiful shot from NBA range there.
Isa Naliai almost gets the steal, but will get caught on the reach-in. And if you remember that thought, I'll take this chance to go back to it if you'd like to finish it.
Oh, yeah, neither team shooting great from the line. Neither team over 50%. You'd like to see a little bit more consistency there. That's where you can win games, is on the free throw line. Oftentimes you'll see teams who can't convert there are the ones who lose by 1 or 2 points at the end of the game.
Vikings trying to regain the lead, 3 up. We'd like to welcome you back to Pleasant Grove High School. As we apologize for the technical difficulties as of late. A little bit of a run by the Vikings as the Vikings come up with a 11-point lead with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in this half. I turn to you, Sayer, as you provide an update on what fans may have missed in that last 4 minutes.
Yeah, Pleasant Grove has completely taken over this game. They are outscoring Orem 17-7 this quarter, led by Jackson Brown and Ashton Palmer. Jackson Brown has 5.
We thank you for that update, Sayer, as Junie Moala hits the 2 to cut it to a 9-point lead, just under 3 minutes to go. But the Vikings answer with their own 2 on the other side. And Simeon Suguturaga says, anything you can do, I can do too. As we're back to a 9-point lead for the Vikings. Blackett for 3. Corner 3 up and good as Brennan Blackett drains a 3. Takes the lead up to 12. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Troy Kafusi. Fade away mid-range and gets the shooter's bounce as he shows his basketball prowess. He has offers from Mississippi State, Hawaii, Weber State, and Utah Tech thus far. Preston White guarded by Kafusi.
He's a great looking player on offense, but I think defense is where he shines, as you can see here. Not letting Preston White out of his sight.
Open 3, no good for Kyler Gents. Three up for Naliai. And misses to the left. 1:47 to go in the half. 39-29. And Sayer, I think we've seen something we mentioned a little bit before. This Orem team looks a little flat-footed. Maybe had a little bit too much Martinelli's, too many of Grandma's cookies during the holidays. And just taking a bit to get back to where they were. This team is 5-2 when they play Utah teams. They played, of their 13 games, 5 of them have been against teams out of state in the tournaments.
Really good team, but after having a long road stretch of being at different tournaments out of state, and then you have a 2-week period of not playing, you can practice, but the difference between practice and play is enormous as Kafusi tries to get his team back in there.
And Kafusi gets the steal on one end, goes 90 feet to the other end, finishes the layup, and gets the and one opportunity as he shows the athlete he can be. Gents will go take a seat, and back into the game is Cooper Harris. 1:13 to go in the half. And Orem goes on a quick 7-point run to get the lead back to 5.
As we were talking about earlier about Orem, again, 2-week stand with no games. We don't know how much they practiced in that time. You would hope a lot, but you can tell by on the offensive side, they're just not quite there. They're not taking the smartest shots this quarter, and you've got to hope that they can corral themselves and get back into this game.
Milo Johansson with the big effort play, getting the rebound, getting the layup, and the foul. As we saw Isa Naliai completely shut down Brennan Blackett in legal guarding position as he moved laterally. Pleasant Grove didn't look like they had a great opportunity on offense there, but a great hustle play right there by Johansson, and that turns into 3 points.
He put his arms by his side and he said, I can shuffle my feet, I can move my feet. I do that all the time on the football field. Let me just show you what it's like on a basketball field and shut down the Pleasant Grove offense.
Vikings get a turnover for themselves. Preston White in the corner. Coach says to slow it down. Shot clock and game clock are separated by about 2 seconds. Preston White, guarded by Manuia.
You have to imagine if they're going to wait for the last shot, that they're going to get this ball into the hands of Brendan Blackett, their scorer, as he moves up to the top of the key, and there he is.
Blackett gets it to Jackson Brown in the paint, and Brown able to get his little hook shot up and in. Kafusi, oh! As he drains a three as time expires. His second deep, deep three of the night. We've got an exciting one here for you in Pleasant Grove. We'll be back with some analysis and some halftime thoughts after this quick 10-minute intermission. I hope you'll stick around as, like I said, we have a great one here tonight. We'd like to welcome you back to Pleasant Grove High School as we get this third quarter of action going for you. Gavin Atkinson alongside Sayer Nielsen as the Vikings have an early 7-point lead on the visiting Tigers. As we see a quick three up and good as Jackson Brown opens up the scoring for the Vikings and increases the lead back to 10. We turn to you, Sayer, for some halftime stats as Sugu Turaga gets two of his own.
Well, some things are already evident, and they were evident in the first half. Jackson Brown led this Pleasant Grove team with 11 points in the first half. Now he's already got 3 this quarter. He was starting to pop off there during the second quarter with 7 points. So now we're going to see how much he can do here in this third quarter to help continue to extend this lead here at the Pleasant Grove.
A nice shot up and good for Oliver Mossman as he fights through the defense. And Jackson Brown having himself a great 2-game span. Last game and this game, as he's been a great player throughout the year. Kafusi answers, as Kafusi had the late game half buzzer beater to get an extra 3 on the board from deep, as he's been showing off his range throughout the night. Mossman with another 2 of his own.
I don't want to take away from Oliver Mossman here, but Troy Kafusi, we saw the beautiful fadeaway just a second ago, and he had the hot hand in the second quarter with 13 points in that quarter alone. We're going to see how much Orem relies on him here in the third, and how much they go back to Sugar Turaga, or if they'll use more of their bench players, more of their other starters to get some production out.
Kafusi inbounds it quickly to Harris. Moala up. Oh, almost gets the shooter's roll. Kafusi with the follow-up, no good. Mossman with the rebound. White taking the ball up the floor. Guarded by Nalier. Nice spin move. Gets it to the open man, top of the key. And cashes it in for 3. Milo Johansson for 3. Quick on the other end, Sugu Turaga, no good for 3. And Jace Tavita will have to take a timeout as Preston White gets a layup quickly on the other end. And this Vikings team is really showing what they can do here tonight.
They have come out absolutely firing on all cylinders. We mentioned Orem's long break over the Christmas break, and now they've come out flat-footed in this second half, being outscored 12-4 right now. In Pleasant Grove, take a guess at their shooting percentage right now.
You know, last I heard we're looking at 70%. I'm assuming 65. We'll go 65.
Throughout this game, totality 73.3.
Oh my gosh.
In the third quarter, 5 for 5 from the field, 2 of those being from 3. 100% in this third quarter.
And oh man, if you're Jace Tavita, you know, you're gonna put an emphasis on defense, but you hear it all the time when you watch basketball. sometimes the team is hot and you can't stop them. And tonight, you know, it might be a little bit of a mix. Orem's come out a little flat. They've still looked like the good team they are. But Pleasant Grove has come out of the gate storming, and they're shooting a blistering 73%. Not much you can do about that other than do your best to stiffen up that defense.
Absolutely. The thing that we didn't mention is a lot of those shots were fast break or open in the paint for Pleasant Grove.
Sugu Chiraga drives up to the paint and gets fouled. Talking to the ref about something. He thinks it was blocked off the backboard or someone tapped the backboard. Looking for, I think, a goaltend call to get the 2 points. So he'll be shooting 2 as of now. I don't believe there was a goaltend foul or goaltending violation called on the floor as the refs convene.
You know, it's interesting. As long as that ball hit the backboard before a hand got to it, the basket will count. It's just a matter of, did the refs actually have eyes on that, and can they overturn this call without any kind of video replay?
Jackson Brown seems to be pleading his case. And as I try and read the pantomime motions of our head official, I believe they may count this basket and shoot 1.
It does look like, again, this is speculation, it looks like he is saying basket counts, shooting 1.
So as we get you updated on our score, 43-56, Simeon Sugu Chiraga shooting 1. And officially, basket does count as Sugu Chiraga successfully pleads his case. And the officials trying to explain it to Pleasant Grove's head coach and let him know why that was called. An unusual circumstance there.
It's not something you see a lot at the high school level, especially since there is no replay assist. But Sugu Chiraga came up to the refs. He said, hey, that was on the backboard first, and they agree with him. At the end of the day, that's going to be a help for Orem, and we'll see how that affects this game in the long run.
Sugu Chiraga gets the steal after unable to convert on the free throws. A nice block as that one goes out of bounds off of Pleasant Grove. As Sugu Chiraga gave it up to Harris. And Cooper Harris had that ball swatted away. And this may be that height you were talking about at the beginning of the game. Pleasant Grove does have the height on this Orem team. Not by necessarily, you know, mountains versus molehills type of a situation. But they've got 2 or 3 inches on these Orem players. And a wingspan to get those blocks on that transition. Kafusi takes the pick and roll from Moala. Good defense. Moala trying to get the ball. A nice effort play from Sugu Chiraga. Kafusi for 3, and he drains it as Drake. Kafusi has been fantastic tonight. 10-point game. Orem needing to get a stop. 3 up. No good. As that one, you know, you'll hear it when you're playing pickup all the time. I've been a shooter of many of those shots. That one's nothing but net. You know, sometimes that's the way it goes. And that's the best way to paint it. Nothing but net.
Great mindset for the shooters. For Orem, you'd rather say that's an air ball. We forced a bad shot. But, of course, Pleasant Grove's going to say that's nothing but net.
Vikings on the fast break, a little too strong on the layup. 4 minutes to go in this third quarter, 10-point game. Orem on a little bit of a run. Sugu Chiraga open in the corner. Ooh, he leaves that one short. As that one comes off the front iron.
We mentioned earlier how hot Pleasant Grove came out in this third quarter, and we saw it on the last possession where they just had a wide-open fast break, and Orem just has to do a better job at making sure they have somebody back to not letting them hit the open buckets. They got lucky on the last play where Johansson just went a little too strong off the backboard, but Orem has to be a little bit better defensively in getting back and getting set.
Brennan Blackett called for the foul as he pleads his case. He believed he was fouled on that last possession as that ball was airballed. Once again, Orem starting to get some stops on defense and turn it into points. Kafusi for three. No good, but the tip up and good for Kakane Manuia. Single-digit game as Orem goes on a run of their own. 8 points deficit. 3 up, Preston White. Too strong off to the back iron. Rebound, Vikings. Back to Preston White. He'll take the screen. Pump fakes. Leans forward, gets his own miss, and will have a whistle on the floor. Basket will not count. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Foul on Manuia, his third personal of the game. As Cooper Harris will come into the game for the Vikings, for Troy Kafusi. Forgive me, for the Tigers. As the Vikings, a little sloppy getting that one in, but Blackett able to fight through the contact with the possibility of the and one. Fourth foul on Manuia as he really starting to get in foul trouble.
Complete for a 3-point play.
Free throw to fall for 3 points.
11-point game as the Vikings lead. Golden Tigers trying to get back in this one. Seems like they're fighting a uphill battle. Sugu Turaga has the extra help on defense, but fights through Jackson Brown.
We saw it on the last possession that Orem fouled and Blackett got the buckets to count. It feels like Orem knows they're behind and that they're just being a little too aggressive trying to get back in it, trying to get steals instead of staying home.
Mossman up for 2. And we've mentioned it, Pleasant Grove is, for the most part of this game, barring that 2 or 3 minute period, as Sugu Turaga gets fouled on that shot attempt. The Vikings have been shooting lights out tonight, and we've seen it other than that 2 or 3 minute period where they finally cooled down a bit, much to, Tiger fans and players and parents' relief. But just like that, we see shots where Mossman is taking advantage of that height advantage in the paint. 10-point game as Sugu Turaga hits his first. And he goes 2 for 2 from the line. 2 minutes in this third quarter. Vikings up 9. Johansson driving. Gives it up. Manuia still on the floor. 4 fouls. And a nice shot from Kyler Jentz as he gets that one up off of Manuia. As Manuia has to be careful of getting his 5th foul. He's got to play less aggressive on defense. A deep 3 from Manuia, and he drains that one. (63-55), 1 minute, 20 seconds to go. Blackett driving. Ball poked away by the Tigers. Troy Kafusi. 26 seconds on the shot clock as Vikings get a reset out of the sideline.
It's nice to see the Orem offense get Manuia involved here and being able to get a 3-pointer. Now their offense takes over.
Cooper Harris trying to take it the length of the floor. I am shocked. He'll get it back off of the Vikings turnover. Some nice passing and then a foul as Mossman will pick up the foul. And kind of a helter-skelter sequence right there as we go back and analyze that. The Vikings inbound it, and unfortunately they're unable to get a clean possession on it. Almost backcourt the ball, as we saw Kyler Jens try and throw it off the Orem player. Harris gets the steal, marked as a steal. And then we see just some crazy transition defense. Kafusi goes 1 for 2. One minute to go in the third quarter. We'll have a whistle as Orem gained possession. And 44.5 seconds to go in this third quarter as Orem looking to cut within 5. 5 or 6, I should say. Cooper Harris will be to the line as the Tigers are in the bonus. Unable to make that first one, as we'll see Junie Moala take a seat. In for Moala is Bentley Farnworth. And the Tigers, something to think about as they've struggled from the free throw line today, leaving quite a few points off the board. I'd say 5 or 6 by my unofficial count, as Harris goes 1 for 2. 6-point game. Separation of shot clock and game clock is about 6 seconds. 34 on the game clock. Preston White guarded by Kafusi. "14 seconds on the shot clock. Blackett guarded by Harris. Trying to get it in the paint. Orem almost has the steal, but we see friendly fire as Sugu Chiraga and Farnworth run into each other, and that ball bounces out of bounds. 6 seconds on the shot clock for the Vikings. 14 seconds. Just under 15 seconds, I should say, on the game clock, as the Tigers look to get one last possession. Vikings wanted a foul. Blackett for 3, and he drains it. Kafusi trying to hit another, pulls up, and he'll be fouled. Can you believe it? As that will be the second foul on Preston White. And we see Brennan Blackett hit a desperation 3 on that last possession over an Orem defender to get the 3 points, and a mental mistake here, as it looks like the Tigers will have a chance at getting those 3 points back off of a mental mistake. Troy Kafusi having himself a game tonight. As at the moment, he has 23 points tonight. He goes 2 for 3 from the line. So the Tigers will go down 7 going into the fourth quarter. We've got a good one for you as the Vikings try to hold on in this 5A Region 7 matchup. We'll be back after this quick break. Welcome back into Pleasant Grove High School as the Vikings do the old Skol chant, getting ready for this fourth quarter action. You know, we joke about it in high school all the time. You get your logos from professional teams. Sometimes you get the traditions from the professional teams as these Viking fans get pumped up. We were talking about Troy Kafusi and the game he has had tonight as he is sitting at 23 so far. Through the season, his season high is 29. He got in the season opener versus Judge Memorial. He scored 20 points 3 times this season, or forgive me, this will be his 4th time this season that he scored 20 points or more, as he has been a offensive flamethrower for this Golden Tigers team.
Absolutely. He's been the catalyst for this Tigers offense. Between himself and Simeon Sugaturaga, they have 43 of the Tigers' 59 points. On the other side, though, Pleasant Grove has 3 guys in double figures in Blackett, Brown, and Mosley, with Johansson having 8. Doing a little bit more of sharing the wealth on the Pleasant Grove side, but Orem just pounding the rock with their 2 studs.
Sugaturaga, no good for 2. Preston White on the transition. Gives it up. Jackson Brown. Back to White. 7:30 to go in the 4th quarter. Blackett. Tigers try to get the ball in the paint. Ball will go off of the Tigers. There was a no call in the paint as Jackson Brown really took a shot. I am shocked that wasn't called a foul. Not an intentional foul, but just you could call it incidental contact. Sugaturaga was not in a legal guarding position and landed on Jackson Brown. No foul called. The Vikings will retain possession, 14 on the shot clock.
I think to the referee's point here, Sugaturaga was going for the ball. It was a 50-50 ball, but it was an elbow up high in the chest area. It's a 50-50 there, and the refs decide not to call it.
Shot does not hit the rim, so that should be a shot clock violation. It will be, as the Golden Tigers step up on defense there. As they continue to climb this hill, watching this Tigers offense, it kind of feels like watching Prometheus push that boulder up the mountain. They're just trying to get over the hump. They've gone on runs throughout the night, but to no avail. They lost the lead early in the game and have been unable to get it back. Troy Kafusi no good on the baseline jumper. The foul will go on the Vikings, though, on the rebound. Kyler Gents, his 3rd personal of the game.
We want to see Orem score something here. As you mentioned, they haven't really got back in within 5 points since maybe the 2nd quarter. Right now down 7. If they can score here and force Pleasant Grove to have to get a bucket on the other end, it'll be a lot better for them in the long run.
It's called Jackson Brown.
As Jackson Brown picks up his 4th on the day, and as one of their leading scorers, that's going to be a detriment for the following maybe 4 minutes of this game, where the coach is probably going to sit him.
Vikings to inbound the ball. Pleasant Grove gets a stop.
Sugaturaga wanted a foul there. There's a lot of arms in the paint, but he doesn't get it, and now he's got to make up for it here on defense.
Preston White will be fouled, and forgive me, as that foul will go to Sugaturaga, his 12th, or forgive me, 3rd personal foul of the game. If that was his 12th, something would have gone wrong, as the numbers get a little jumbled up in my head. Some poor fan down at the baseline took the basketball to the face, as we hope he is all right. Forgive me, earlier I made a reference to Greek mythology, Sisyphus, the guy pushing up the boulder, not Prometheus. As I just have to fact check myself.
I think you're close enough. They both ended us.
Oh, and that'll be a backcourt violation, as that ball went off of Jackson Brown, or forgive me, Milo Johansson, and he got it, off his leg. 6:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Tigers once again trying to climb that hill. Troy Kafusi trying to get it to Juni Moala, both teams point, and it will be off Mossman. 6:08 in the game, on the game clock.
Looked like Mossman just got a little tip of the ball there, as it was just enough to poke it away from Moala's reach. And now Orem with an opportunity here to make this, again, within 7 points.
Sugacharaga gives it up to Kafusi. Kafusi pump fakes. Help comes. Nice defense from the Vikings as Preston White may have gotten a block there. Kafusi thought he hit his arm, but that looked clean to me. 5:45.
You mentioned the 5:45 mark. We've gone almost 4.5 minutes. And according to my stats, there has not been a basket in this quarter. No points have been scored.
There will be a foul on Orem. Will go on Isa Naliai, his second personal of the game. And we'll have a timeout called by the Vikings. We'll take one as well and be back in 30 seconds. Welcome back to Pleasant Grove High School. Final 5 minutes, 32 seconds to go in this quarter. Is this Region 7 matchup has been all we expected it to be. Pleasant Grove has played a fantastic game with multiple guys sharing the wealth. We've talked about it. Multiple guys scoring the ball, and they've gone on multiple runs and been able to hold on to the lead. The story of this quarter thus far has been the defense of both teams, as it's been nothing but tough shots.
Absolutely, not only tough shots, but no shots. Only 4 shots total between the two teams. Orem with 3, Pleasant Grove with 1. That's not very common that you see less than a shot per minute, but that is where we're at right now. And we'll see who can get the first bucket to fall here in the fourth quarter.
We've seen multiple turnovers from the Vikings forced by the Tigers, and the Tigers have been unable to burn the Vikings with that. We'll see if that trend continues. Blackett gives it up to Preston White. Preston White driving, spin move, shot up. Doesn't get the shooter's roll. Naliai pushing it up the floor. He has Sugacharaga calling for the alley-oop. It does not come, as they'll slow it down in favor of setting up an offensive play. Kafusi for 3, no good. Sugacharaga trying to get the ball up. He will be fouled by Kyler Gents. I believe it will be Kyler Gents' fourth personal of the game. And Sugacharaga will be shooting 2, with a chance to open up the scoring on the quarter. Still 66-59. And there we go. Sometimes that first basket is the hardest one of the game, definitely of the quarter, as we see if that opens up the basket for this Golden Tigers team. Sugacharaga goes 2 for 2, cuts it to a 5-point game. Preston White guarded by Harris.
In a quarter like this fourth quarter, those 2 free throws may be the decision between a win and a loss, as neither team is able to get much going.
A big 3-pointer from Ashton Palmer, as he hits that 3 in a very key time, pushing the lead back up to 8. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the quarter, and Orem needs some stops. Harris gets a steal, as if responding to my call. Sugacharaga driving in, Euro step, and he finishes through the contact. What a play! With the nice Euro step, as he is nursing possibly an injury, a little bit of a limp coming back. Preston White gives it up. Palmer, who just hit the big 3. Back to White.
Just after we mentioned 5.5 minutes of no baskets,
Palmer for 3. 6 massive points for Ashton Palmer. Naliai fading away, answers with a 2. 3:30 to go in the quarter, in the game. 7-point lead for the Vikings. Tigers need to stop. Palmer has been there to answer. Nice pump fake from White. The foul will be called, and they will count the basket.
Weston White is feeling himself after that
2 points. And is fouled.
A nice play there. As he steps through the contact with the chance to convert the and one. And he will convert the 3-point play, increasing the lead to 12. And you know, this Orem team has played so well, but Ashton Palmer may have had the biggest shots of the night. Those 2 3-pointers almost taking away hope from the Tiger team. As Kafusi puts up almost an effort shot. Harris gets the rebound and the ball poked away. Vikings get a key steal. Ball poked away, but a foul comes. As Jackson Brown will be fouled. I believe he will go to the line. Forgive me, no, it will be an inbound. There will be a timeout called by Jace Tavita. A 10-point game. And it really just, you know, I've mentioned it before. It really has just felt like a Sisyphus situation for the Golden Tigers. You fight, you fight, you fight. You're pushing that boulder up the hill. And then Pleasant Grove goes on a 6-0 run. And it almost takes the win out of this Tiger team. And that's some of the battle you fight as you go on the road. You know, it would be very interesting to see this game played on the other side. As the Vikings have done what they needed to do. They played great on defense throughout this game. And, you know, I come out of this game just impressed with the Vikings. As they haven't been the most relevant in the state tournament these past 2 years, this team looks good. And it's due to their ability to share the load. Where you look at this Orem team, and Orem's been fantastic, and I believe they'll be great this year as well. But there's a lot of weight on 2 or 3 guys. When you look at this Orem team, Ashton Palmer comes into this game averaging 4 points a game, and he has 6 of the biggest points of the game in a very key moment.
He steps up in a big way, hitting 2 clutch threes, followed by Preston White's and 1 layup. And this Viking team looks really good in this fourth quarter right now.
Kafusi almost gets the steal, but Jackson Brown able to get it back. Manuia guarded Blackett. Kick out to the far side corner. Johansson trying to get to the paint. Help comes, and somehow Mossman comes up with the ball, unable to score. 2:30 to go in the quarter. Orem cannot afford a miss, as they need to start this comeback now. Manuia for 3, and he drains it. Manuia for 3. Cuts it to a 7-point game. And we'll have a foul called on the Tigers. Troy Kafusi, and I believe we'll be shooting 2, as Blackett will go to the line. Blackett able to go make the first, trying to ice this game. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. As it is a 8-point game, 2 minutes to go. Tigers have no room for an empty possession. Gets it down to Harris. Harris with the layup. 6-point game. Tigers need a stop. And this one looks like it will go down to the wire. Tigers with some full court pressure. That ball will just be saved by Mossman. And head coach of Pleasant Grove, Carson Williams, runs down to the baseline to call that timeout. I don't know how Mossman saved that ball from going out of bounds, as if that was a turnover there, we're looking at a one-possession game if Orem can score with 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
You gotta say, sometimes the clutch play doesn't come from the players, it comes from the coach running down the sideline as fast as he can to get a timeout. Mossman did just enough to get the ball back to maintain possession, and then manages to hold on while he's getting, while Orem is putting some defense on. And head coach Carson Williams able to call the timeout, keep the possession in favor of the Vikings. And now all they have to do is score this basket and play some solid defense, and they should be good for the rest of this half.
1:40 to go. And with the way Orem has played on offense, you were looking at, you're still looking at a climb, 6-point game, 2-possession game. If you can get a stop here, you've got time. If Pleasant Grove took all of the shot clock, you're looking at maybe 2 more possessions for Orem. But if you take those quick shots, force some bad shots, you've got some time. You can afford Pleasant Grove to score a 2. Obviously, you don't want it. But if you're looking at an 8-point game, the game is not over. If you're on the Vikings side, pressure's kind of on you to get some points here.
Absolutely. And Orem trying to play the best defense they can. Unfortunately, Gafusi gives up the foul there. But Orem just needs to play some solid defense. They forced the bad passes and full court press. So they just got to keep that up, and they will have a chance at getting this game back in there.
Jackson Brown to shoot 2. 1 minute, 27 seconds to go in the quarter. Misses the first one.
Now if you're Orem, you got to make sure you box out here if this is a miss. Don't let Mossman or Blackett's height help them get a rebound here. You got to get it and get out quick.
And just as we mentioned, Mossman gets the rebound. It looked like he won that positioning, but there will be a loose ball foul going against Brennan Blackett on the box out. And that's what you couldn't have happen almost for Orem, as Pleasant Grove almost gets the rebound off of the 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Orem down 6 with 1:25 to go. Kafusi gets it to Harris. Harris driving in. Kicks it out. Nolly I thinks about the 3. Back to Kafusi. Kafusi for 3. Drains it. And Troy Kafusi cuts it to a 3-point game. 1 minute, 9 seconds to go. What a shot. And he has ice in his veins.
That right there is what gets you D1 offers, let me tell you. Pretty star prospect hitting a beautiful 3 from well beyond the arc there. To cut this game to a 3-point game. He has the opportunity to not only tie this game, but to tie his season high of 29 points.
And he has really stood up when his team needed him. Tigers with the chance to send this game to overtime or win it. Vikings just trying to hold on, as there's just been this surge from the Tigers off of some mistakes on that Vikings side.
We said that Orem is relying a lot on Zaraga and on this offensive side, but on the defensive side, it's a team battle. every single one of those players is playing their heart out on defense, sliding their feet, trying not to foul, and it's showing up in these late game situations as they are able to cut the lead down to 3. And now it's an opportunity, if they can, come up with a stop on defense to tie this game, maybe take it overtime, maybe win it in this fourth quarter.
1 minute, 9 seconds to play. This is going to be interesting to see from the coaching perspective. Orem playing a full court press, trying to make this as hard as possible to get this ball inbounded. They'll get it inbounded. The foul will come from Manuia. That's his 5th of the game. I believe he's fouled out. And he'll have to go take a seat, and he looked very confused by that. As that is, he will foul out, and
it looked, from my perspective, a little bit soft there from the referees. Milo Johansson did a good job selling the contact with a little bit of body movement, but it just looked like there was a little bit of, maybe just a touch on the arm, and it's enough to draw the foul in a late game situation, as now Johansson has a chance to get 2 more points on the board for the Vikings.
Juni Moala in for Manuia. Shot good on the first free throw attempt, increases it to a 4-point game. 1:06 to go on the game clock. Trying to get it up to 5. Johansson goes 2 for 2. Big free throws there. Troy Kafusi takes it up the floor, guarded by White. Calling for a screen, doesn't get it. Naliai. Moala. Orem looking a little bit discombobulated. An effort play from Sugar Turaga as he gets it back. Kick out. Naliai, corner 3, off the backboard. Troy Kafusi follows it and gets the layup up and in. Nothing but effort there. As we're looking at a 3-point game, Tigers need a stop. As we'll get a timeout, Jace Tavita is beside himself on the floor, and I can understand why. I don't know how that was not a travel.
It has to be a travel or a foul. The player cannot go down with the ball in his hand without being fouled and not travel. If he's fouled, then you got to call the foul. That can't be a no call in a situation, especially in a 3-point game with 27 seconds.
I absolutely agree. If you look at it from the Vikings' perspective, how on earth is that not a foul? He splits the double team, he falls down, that's got to be a trip. If you're looking at the Tigers' perspective, how does he trip and not travel? So you sit here and you go, either it's a trip or it's a travel. There is no in between, there is no falling down. You know, I would never be able to do the official's job. It's a very difficult position to be put in. A timeout was called by the Vikings. There's 25 on the shot clock, 27.2 on the game clock. The Vikings really can take the shot clock down. Orem has 1 timeout left. So really a bucket seals this game. Or you go into that free throw game that we all,
the part of the game that none of us like.
Yes.
It's great for a team to be able to try and come back, but we all know it's just delaying the inevitable.
It can be very difficult. It makes sense, especially at these lower levels of basketball. Orem needs to stop here. 1 timeout left for the Vikings. If they can't inbound it, I assume they will take it.
Something to note, Preston White on the other half of the court now running up.
They will get it inbounded. Jackson Brown will be fouled by Kafusi. And I can understand it. The game clock and the shot clock is 2 seconds. The issue is 1 free throw makes it a 2-possession game. And so now we're playing this free throw game where the Tigers are hoping for misses. They'll get it as Jackson Brown missed the first. 23 seconds to go in the quarter, or forgive me, in the game. 78-75. Pleasant Grove looking to hold on. Jackson Brown trying to seal this game. Jackson Brown makes it a 4-point game. Suguturaga taking it up the floor. They'll count the basket on the gather, and Suguturaga has a chance to cut it within one. So count the bucket, 77-79. As both coaches trying to take a second to talk to their teams. Just under 17 seconds, 16.9 to go in the game. Vikings up 2, Suguturaga shooting 1. And this changes the entire landscape of this final 17 seconds. As
now, if you're looking at it from Orem's perspective, Suguturaga can make this. You want to foul.
you want it immediately.
Absolutely. You want to conserve all of that 16.9 seconds that you can. And all of a sudden, you have a chance with a 1-point game to foul. If they miss even one shot, it's only 5 or one possession game.
Oh, Suguturaga, no good. There is a... There's confusion from the officials. Orem wants a jump. I believe a foul was called on the miss. So, and here's the thing. The foul will go on Suguturaga. And since it's a loose ball foul, we got 15.6 seconds. From Orem's perspective, a jump ball almost doesn't help you there, because then you have to take more time off the clock to foul.
I think if you're Orem, you want this to go in. And you want it back to miss, and then the second one to go in, and you got a clean break. But now you have to hope he misses, and you have 15.6 seconds to get a clean three-point look to tie the game. Or you try and go fast, get another foul, and hope that they continue to miss on the free throw.
Second one bounces in. Some key free throws from Kyler Gents. 4-point game. Orem's got to go quick. Kafusi gets it to Nalier. Nalier for 3, 7 seconds. Drains it. Clock stops. 5.7 seconds. 1-point game. As we get you caught up, forgive me, score is 81-80. 5.7 seconds left. Tigers take a full timeout to stop the clock with just under 6 seconds left. They've got to foul immediately, send it to the line, and you've got a prayer. Even if the Vikings hit 2, you've got a prayer.
You absolutely have a prayer. Shout out to Ison Nali with a 3-point prayer. He's had 2 threes earlier in this game that did not go as well as this one. But when it matters, you got it to count. You got the bucket. Now you have a prayer in your Orem. And now you have the foul. And as you said, hope that they miss. Or even if they do make it, we can still send it to overtime with a 3-point.
And I just got to say, what a ball game. These are the games you love from a neutral perspective. I know there's parents at home tearing out their hair, and I feel for you guys. I've been there. But what a game. As both of these teams show why we love high school sports. Orem fighting through some adversity. The Vikings fighting through adversity, trying to hold on to this lead. It's been a team effort on offense for the Vikings. It's been a team effort on defense for the Tigers. It all comes down to this. Orem, you can't foul on the inbounds because that gives free throws and possession from what I understand. You got to be careful. You try and go for the steal. You try and get the turnover, or forgive me, force the Vikings to take that timeout. As we have a nice play design there. Took a second to process that, but that's a little bit of the coaching expertise from Carson Williams.
It was really pretty. You didn't see it while you were talking, but Brennan Blackett, right after the timeout, came up to the ref and double-checked with him that was a legal play. And so the Vikings had that one prepared. They were ready for that, and it's paying off as of now. They got the foul quick. They got the ball in, and now we'll see if Blackie can drain them.
Misses the first. Now this is interesting, because if he makes that, you might think about missing the second. 81-80. You got to make the second one, I believe.
It looked like Mossman was telling Blackie to intentionally
3.6 seconds. Misses. Orem with the chance. Kafusi. Too strong. No good. And the Vikings hold on.
What a reaction from the Vikings fans here.
What a final few minutes there. As man, that fourth quarter is one of the best I've had the privilege of calling. As the Vikings hold on, Orem heartbroken as they fall just short of the comeback. And what a game. That final sequence, as that inbound play, I believe, is my play of the game. The clock was not moving, but Orem seemed to have that shut down. The Vikings have that inbound play dialed up. They get it inbounded quick. They hold on by the skin of their teeth. But what a game.
Great job for the Vikings. I can't give a player of the game out. It was a team effort. They had 5 guys in double digits, another with 8. And leading the way, of course, Brendan Blackett, their stud. Yeah, offers actually level from 6 up. And so it's a great job. It's great to see that they were able to pull this one off and get that one on. Students love it, as you can see this.
What a game. As both teams played fantastic. Orem goes home heartbreaking. You got to keep your head up as they've proved they're a good team. But this race for Region 5 7A, or forget 5A Region 7, it's been a long day. It's really interesting because you've got Orem, Timpanogos, and now Pleasant Grove has inserted themselves into that conversation. Dean Ruckert, #1 prospect out of Utah, BYU commit, is running things up at Timpview. Orem's got Suguturaga, and now you've got this team effort from Pleasant Grove. I'm going to keep my eye on this region all year long. It's going to be a great year.
Absolutely excited to see what happens in 5A. We're excited in all of 5A, as well as high school basketball across the state. It's phenomenal. We're glad to bring it to you here on CSL Sports 2-1.
We'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Tab Bank, for helping us make this possible. We'd like to thank our cameraman, forgive me, Brian, for running our camera as he makes this all possible. Vince in the studio, Sayer and Gavin Atkinson signing off. We hope you have a good night.